Hi friends, it's Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the O.W.L.s Magical Readathon. Today I'm going to be telling you all about my TBR, so what I'm going to be reading for this readathon. So the O.W.L.s Magical Readathon is an annual readathon hosted by Bookroast on Booktube, and there are so many exciting elements that she has added this year that I am so excited to join in on. First of all, we have our Wizarding Careers packet that she added just this year, so you're able to flip through and decide based on what career you want the owls you should take. I have decided to be a Hogwarts professor, and I'm going to be studying, or teaching I guess, the care of magical creatures. That will be the profession that I am seeking to complete during this readathon, and for this you must pass 7 owls. 1 in the subject you wish to teach, which is care of magical creatures, 1 in defense against the dark arts, and then 5 in any subject of your choice that are additional to the 2 previously mentioned. Along with the packet, you receive a letter from Professor McGonagall, and because you are not able to double dip on prompts, you do have to read 12 books if you want to accomplish 12 prompts. So to pass exams, you have to pass 2 exams or read 2 books. To exceed expectations, you must read 6 books, and to receive an outstanding on your owls, you must pass 9 exams or read 9 books. And because I'm an overachiever, of course I chose books for all 12 prompts available. I will just be putting priority on the 7 books for my career path. So to start, because I am choosing to do Care of Magical Creatures, I of course have to talk about my Care of Magical Creatures book. But before I list all these books, I just want to give a heads up that most of the books I'm mentioning are not new releases. They're kind of books that I picked up at the thrift store and I'm reading to get through and decide if I want to keep them or not. You'll see all those books in my thrift store haul, which I'll link down below. But again, these are just books that I'm trying to push through and decide if I want to read or keep or vice versa. So I thought this readathon would be a wonderful way to push through all of these and motivate myself because I want to be a Care of Magical Creatures Hogwarts professor. So for Care of Magical Creatures, I chose The House of the Scorpion by Nancy Farmer. For Care of Magical Creatures, you were supposed to pick a book with a land animal on the cover, and I like to believe that a scorpion is a land animal. They're an insect, so that's an animal, right? Cool. So next I had to pick a book for the Defense Against the Dark Arts owl. And for this, the prompt was Reducto. We're learning the spell Reducto. So you had to pick a book that starts with R. So I chose Ready or Not by Meg Cabot. I don't know much about this book, but I did remember really enjoying her books when I was younger. So I'm interested to read this and see if I still like her style of book. I guess we'll find out. I will let you guys know in the vlogs, of course. Next were the 5 additional subjects that I chose to add on to my Care of Magical Creatures and Defense Against the Dark Arts. And for this, I actually looked at the Magizoologist prompts, and I chose the 3 that were listed there, and then I just chose 2 that I thought would be beneficial to being a Hogwarts professor. So first of all, the 3 prompts for Magizoologist included Charms, Herbology, and Potions. So for Charms, the spell that we're learning for the owl is the Age Line. So for this, you had to read an adult work. I chose All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr for this. I don't know anything about this, but I did Google it, and it is an adult work, or classified as an adult work, even if no one thinks it is. I'm excited for this because I've heard a lot of good things about this book. For Herbology, you had to choose a book with a plant on the cover, and I did not have any books with like trees or plants or flowers or anything of that nature on the cover that I could find and choose to use for this readathon, so I ended up going with The Time Traveler's Wife because there's grass in the background, so I decided that was as close to a plant as I was gonna get, and that's my choice for Herbology. Next for Potions, the prompt was to choose a sequel or next ingredient. So I actually went to the library for this book and I picked up God's Grave, which is the sequel to Nevernight. I just finished Nevernight last week and I was completely enraptured by it and in love with the story. So I went and picked up God's Grave and I'm so excited to be reading this for the O.W.L.s Magical Readathon. If you don't know, the Nevernight story is about a girl who sees her father die in front of her, and she goes to a school of assassins to seek revenge on the men that killed her father. So this is the sequel to that story. So the next two prompts that I felt were good for a Hogwarts professor were Muggle Studies, because you're going to be dealing with students who were born without parents who were wizards, so you are going to be dealing with those sort of students. And then also a History of Magic, because I feel like that's just an important owl or subject to learn overall if you're going to be a teacher or just a wizard in general. So for Muggle Studies, you had to choose a contemporary, and I chose The Carrie Diaries by Candace Bushnell. This is a contemporary based on a prequel to Sex and the City. I don't know if Sex and the City is a TV show or a movie or what, but I've never seen it, so I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this or not, but it is listed as a contemporary, so I will be pushing through this for my readathon. And lastly, of my priority books, I have chosen History of Magic, which is the prompt to read a book that is published over 10 years ago. And for this, I chose Into Thin Air by John Krakauer. And this book was published in 1997. Yeah, 1997. So next are my 5 books that are not as high priority, but I'm just reading because I would like to read all 12 books. And this is for Ancient Runes. You had to read a book that is a retelling of some sort. So I chose Mirror Mirror by Gregory Maguire. And from what I'm guessing, this is a retelling of Snow White or the Evil Queen or something in that story realm. So I'm excited to read this because I love anything Disney and any retelling of any fairy tales. So I'm definitely excited to pick this one up. Next is Arithmancy, which is a book that is written by more than one author. For this, I chose Before Marilyn, which is written by Astrid France and Michelle Morgan. And again, I have like an entire pile. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can't really see here, but I have like at least 10 to 12 books here of Marilyn Monroe books. I'm just going to be reading them all and then putting them in my unhaul pile as I go if I'm completely in love with the story, because they are more textbook-like than story-like, and that's just not something I feel like I'll be picking up again. But it is something I am interested in for the one time, so that's why I'm reading each of the books. Next is Astronomy, which includes a book with star in the title. And for this, I'm actually double dipping into my in-game readathon prompts and choosing The Fault in Our Stars, because it is the only book I own that has the word star or stars in the title. So that will be the low priority double dipping into another readathon, not another prompt. So it's legal for this readathon. Yeah. Next is Divination, which is a book that is set in the future. I'm not sure if this counts as something set in the future, but it's definitely not present day, and it's definitely not like past, like history. So for this is not the actual physical book I'm going to be reading. I'm going to be picking up Dragon Ball instead, because I realized I got Dragon Ball Super volumes, which is like 4 storylines into the whole series. So I'm going back to the library and picking up the first volume of the first storyline, which is just Dragon Ball. So that will be changed out, but I just wanted to show something. So that's what I'm going to be reading in the future. Haha, because the prompt is in the future. Yeah, okay. And then lastly is Transfiguration, which is a book with a red cover or sprayed edges. And for this, I chose Crown of Feathers by Nikki Puerto, and as you can see, it has purple sprayed edges. This is actually the Owlcrate exclusive edition from February, I believe. Yeah, February, in the Whimsical Beast box, or Whimsical Creatures. I think it's Beasts. Either way, this is the book I will be reading for Transfiguration if I am able to get to it. So overall, I'm super excited for this readathon, and I'm super excited to join in. I will be doing separate weekly vlogs for the Owl Magical Readathon and the Endgame Readathon once April starts, and I'm so excited for you to join me on this adventure of readathons and whatnot. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will check in with you on April 1st.